So I got an email last week from a fellow by the name of James Porter. He said, why don't you take some questions from us so we can just put them out there and let people know what the public is thinking. So I said, okay, James, this is for you. 2 questions. Here's the first one. All right. He's saying, why can't politicians just say, I was wrong, no one is perfect, but all we seem to do is repeat errors and pass them on for someone else? We'll start with you, Mr. Leader. What do you think about James's question?
Well, James, thanks for watching. We really appreciate you emailing in. We really appreciate our viewers on the show. We want to do this as a service. And you're right. It is amazing how many people that get in that aren't genuine, that aren't real. Politicians are normal, everyday people. That's who I serve with the state legislature, are normal people that want to make things different. Sometimes we grow, sometimes we evolve, sometimes we change the way we think. On this show, I never make any apologies for my conservative stance. I'm one of the most conservative members of this legislature, and I believe in those policies. But even I evolve in what I think and where I'm thinking and when I learn new facts. So I think it's something that the constituents should appreciate and want. But I do think the real key is politicians that aren't willing to say what they have to say to get the job, as opposed to people that do it out of service because they love their state, they love their nation, they love their community.
I think y'all talked about that last week. It was you that said just stop talking to sound bites. Well, that hasn't happened. Your thoughts about James's question?
Yeah, Mr. Porter, I think it's a great question. And if you'll believe it, it takes someone that has a little bit of ego to run for office. And I think because of that ego, it's oftentimes difficult for people to admit that they're wrong, that they've misstated something or taken a position that they don't actually believe in. What's important, though, is that we don't exacerbate that issue. And I think partisan politics has put us in a very difficult position where if you go out on something and say something that you don't necessarily believe and the party does, it's difficult for you to walk that back. We need more individuals that are going to stop running for political party positions and run for positions that are good for Oklahoma citizens.
Okay, great sentiment. All right, here's James's second question. This one's even better. Why can't a committee be created to regularly review which programs work and which are unnecessary and waste money? I know where the leader's going to go with this, but let's start with you.
Well, I'm glad, Mr. Porter, that I get to start with this question because I think my colleague's going to say the same thing. But we have done this. We created LOFT, the Legislative Office of Fiscal Transparency, and the whole purpose of LOFT is to dig into state agencies, look at what they're doing, see if they're doing it correctly, find out where they're spending money, see if they're spending your taxpayer dollars correctly, and they've done a fantastic job with this. You can look back online and see the LOFT reports. There's been a number of them on different state agencies. They've done a phenomenal job finding where our taxpayer dollars are being spent and how we should do it, and they've given really good suggestions on how to do things.
Every time LOFT goes to an agency, the agency goes, no, it's not true. But you know that's true, right?
You know, Mr. Porter, we'd have a lot of fun having a cup of coffee. I couldn't agree with you more on this question. And as a matter of fact, I fought for what later became Legislative Office of Fiscal Transparency 2 years before it was actually passed. Was my original bill, the Office of Accountability. And it's this exact issue. I was so proud to carry that bill on the floor that created LOFT. I sit on LOFT right now. It is a bipartisan, bicameral committee. And we do just that. A lot of these things that have come out, these abuses in government, they didn't come out from anyone other than LOFT. Now, sometimes the media likes to take credit for finding the LOFT reports, but we are doing that. So here's where the politicians were wrong. We should have done it a long time ago, but I'm glad we're finally doing it.
I'm waiting for the first LOFT report, the subject of the LOFT report. They go, yeah, they're right. Now, that ain't going to happen, right? Hey, James, thanks for these questions. Hope you get to feeling better. See this again at news9.com/yourvotecounts and follow me on Twitter @MitchellTalks.